screen
Oh, what
will
did you
black
tell
in a
them to
little
show
while.
them how to mark it if there's a certain, like if something happens to mark it for
like
you?
all you got to do. So this screen will go dark in a few seconds. So
Right.
when it is dark, if something happens, just tap the screen and just like write down on your phone where
Gotcha, where I was
on
the time frame.
So you don't need to touch anything else. You're good.
All right.
Go have fun.
You ready?
Thank you.
All right, watch yourself.
Watch
Don't go anywhere yet.
That would have been it right off the bat.
Kind of like you guys. So.
Into the mind.
Into the mind.
So don't go walking like way in front of me. Yeah, exactly. That's all you were doing the last time. You're like walking all over the place.
You know my
I hope my
spirit,
mic is
sir.
on. Feels like it's falling.
Come on now.
My mic feels like it's falling. Okay.
Let me get on this side of you so I can get the door. Dun, dun, dun.
See, she's already taken off. Jay, she's taken off already. Okay. Inside the Sterling Hill Mine. That's the sound of the big green doors. So this is the entrance to the mine. The green doors are behind us. As far as
That's the emergency escape hatch. That's so if they had cave-ins or whatever, this was their emergency escape hatch from underneath.
Okay.
The different levels.
As far as activity, we did capture a voice or two here. It's not the most active part of the mine when you enter it.
Except for the miners, sometimes you'll see lights like a miner's
Yeah,
working.
that's what I wanted to bring up too. But go ahead and finish.
So miners' caps, they have their headlights on it, and sometimes we'll get a phantom light that will all of a sudden appear and walk towards us like they're working and they're heading just like they don't even know we're here. But they're still here working, and you catch their lights, which is amazing.
I had that happen from where we came in, and we actually thought somebody was in here with a flashlight, because along the stretch of the pathway in front of us, all the way at the end there, how far down you could see, the light was there. It wasn't just reflecting, it was moving.
Yeah,
And
like somebody walking, right?
Yeah,
like
we thought
bounce.
somebody was there with a flashlight, and it went back and forth until we went down there and checked it out, and there was nobody here. But I think the four of us that night, there was only four of us. So this is, again, the initial entrance to the
And
mine.
you can hear them walking here too. It's crazy. Like you actually hear their boots hitting and getting, like you can hear our footprints, I'm sure, but with the boots that grinding into the ground, you can hear that in the dark too.
So this is the first shaft, if you want to call it that. It goes straight back, but we're going to take a turn here.
This
and
is
we're gonna
where
go.
they started their day and ended their day. This is the lamp room, for obvious reasons. They would actually come get their lamps, get ready for their day, for their shift, and they would have to take a marker. So these markers right here were very, very important for the mine safety. Each miner would get one of these on their shift, and when they come back from out of the mine, they would have to hang it back up, and if it wasn't there, they knew to go looking for you in the mine, because there were a lot of pitfalls in the mine, like that. They fell.
So again, this is the lamp room. This is where they would have gotten their lamps and other batteries or things that they needed. Of course, it changed throughout the years, the things that they used. There probably was at a time where they had candles and everything else here, but this is kind of the main area where they came in and gathered things that they needed to light their way during their shift. So we go back into the main shaft here, the initial shaft, and we keep walking back. And again, it's a good walk from the big green doors to where we're heading now.
You can actually see where the what do they call them? I don't want to say train.
It's the tracks where
It's
the
the
carts
tracks where the
would
carts
go.
that would come back and forth that would take the minerals and stuff out of the mine. And this was like one of the machines that they used to hoist.
This area here, and we're going to show you I'll turn around and I'll show you the poster in front of us, but you get a view of the entire area if you pan the room. This is kind of the main skip areas, one of them, where they would come down here and they would be lowered down into whatever level they were working on. And there were 26 levels when this was an active mine. So I'm gonna.
The bell?
So as you can see, there's the poster behind me. That's what it looked like every day for these guys. They would load up. I don't know how many they actually could fit on one skip. That's
No more than 40.
1977. How many?
No more than 40.
And they would lower them down. And like I said, 26 levels. And it went deep and it was miles wide. And this is where they kind of started their day and ended their day. One of the skips, or multiple skips, I'm sure.
And the number of bells is the level that they would go down to. So if you did 2 to 1, it would tell you that you would go right down to the next level. Right. And level, when they hit 9 times.
That's what the sign right there says, emergency signal. So you know something happened down there if you hear the 9 bells and they knew to get out of there. Something had gone wrong.
So before we walk away from this, the interesting thing about this area, that was the managers, like where the overseers office in there in the mine, and it was not functional. They just redid it. And what we were doing our investigation, a light turned on underneath when there was no power there, and we actually saw footprints from underneath there that was somebody was walking back and forth in there.
I thought I just heard something behind us right there.
Did you?
So we're gonna walk again down this part of the shaft area here. I wanted to point out just 2 things while we're here. This is something they would use if somebody was injured and they couldn't make it out on their own. They try to lower this mesh down there and try to lift them and carry them out and get them on the skip. And there's a toilet over there that they would carry down into the mine as well.
I also want to say that those things that are hanging right there, John, the hook and the power box,
right?
When we would do things here, and especially with women, and we would try to talk to them, they would start swinging real heavily.
That's a good point too. In that area back there, when we first started coming here, initially when we were engaging them, when people weren't doing that, they have tours, but no one really tries to talk to them. In that area, initially, we would get a lot of swear words, a lot of curse words. When females would ask questions, they would get something back with usually a curse at the end of it. They weren't real happy about females asking questions.
Should we bring up what they had to do here in the mine?
I mean, I mentioned that before with the... So now we're gonna head down another shaft. This is again the main shaft when you come in. It breaks off into different kind of shafts and different corridors. So when we head down this way, this is where we have a lot of activity.
This is not my favorite area.
Yeah,
this one makes me uncomfortable. I don't like here.
You come down this way and directly behind me is, or on the side of me, is, you could see down to the different levels, and there is 900 feet of water down there, and you probably can't see it that great. But this is where someone's job was to, again, break up the rocks and the minerals, and they would fall down, and not a great job. I mean, if you could look to your left or look on the camera, you could see kind of where the guy would have been who worked here and what he was doing. He was strapped to something that was attached to the wall, and not a great job, which is probably why you get a lot of angry people in this area. And then there's equipment that they used. This right here is that noise. We'll tell you a little bit about that in a minute. We found out, again, after countless times of coming here, that one of the most active areas in the mine, for us anyway, was what's called the explosive room, dynamite room. And that's, again, another little corridor that breaks off and goes in front of us. So In this area, we decided that we tried to do EVPs first in that room. And we weren't getting a lot of EVPs in that room. The strangest thing is the EVPs came when you were here beyond the chain asking questions to whoever's in that room and in this area. And we got a lot of intelligent responses here. I mean, a lot. Somebody's definitely here and they talk and they answer questions. And we heard that metal piece, which I think that's what it was. We were here doing an EVP session trying to capture voices, and it sounded like someone either dropped one of those metal panels that are behind me, or they banged on that metal panel. It just was a loud
But I believe
bang.
it was because you and a team member were in there doing an EVP. I was literally standing out here out of the way in the dark with no light, and they like to get your attention, and they're a little bit
Right.
salty. They're minors, like they like to, play their games. And I think they did it to scare. And it scared me.
Well, I was trying to get the age of the person and
You
figure
were,
out how
and
old
they
they
were getting
were.
frustrated
And it
with
seemed
you.
like that was really, frustrating them.
So another key point that I want to say that both of my team members in the same action area, I was sitting in the chair here doing an EVP, and a noise comes out. It wasn't me, and they could swear up and down that it was me, and it wasn't. I want to put that on record.
Yes, it wasn't her. We heard what sounded like someone passing wood. She wouldn't say it, but I'll say it. And it was really loud on the mic.
I was being proper.
So we're heading down the shaft. Now another shaft. This again breaks off from the main shaft where we started. This goes straight down.
Another key point that we need to talk about in this area, the very first time we ever came here, me and my daughter were actually right there at the Dynamite area, pitch dark. We'd never been in here before, never gone that way, no lights on. I'm setting up an R light, and we heard a light growl and like sounds from down that way we'd never been. And my daughter goes, "Did you hear that?" I said, "Yeah, let's just ignore it and continue what we're doing." And the more we ignored it, the more aggressive it became. And then all of a sudden, it roared right at us with warm, hot air blowing right up on our necks. And we have it on camera, and I'm not going to lie, running out of the mine the opposite way, calling for team members because we were terrified.
Yeah, we describe it as running up on because we don't know how else to describe it, what they do. You'll be standing somewhere stationary, especially if you're alone, and you feel like a rush of wind, and you'll hear them do that right in your ear. And in this area, this shaft that we're going down now, I saw a ball of light, an anomaly, and I'm pretty familiar with anomalies and what the real ones look like. It came from down the end of this shaft. It started on the floor and went along these walls in front of me, traveled the whole entire length, went back on the floor again and stopped 10 feet in front of me and then disappeared. It looked like...
It was water, I'm pretty sure.
It looked like, again, it looked like just the circle from a flashlight that somebody was shining, and yet there was nobody in here.
And again, this is a nice tour with the lights on.
So we're going down. As we're walking, you can't really see. You may be able to see behind us that it's going down. We're walking down as we're walking. So it descends the further you get into the mine. This area here, called the Rainbow Tunnel. Now, those of you who are unfamiliar with the Sterling Hill Mine, this is one of their main tourist attractions. They have the minerals, the rocks that actually glow under a black light. So this is a room that people like to come in and they take pictures in. We don't really get a lot of activity here, but I figured we'll show you one of the more popular areas. And you can see behind me, you can see on the side of me, the fluorescent lights, and they really are vibrant. When you take a picture or you take a video, I mean, the colors are just really, really vibrant. So I just wanted to show you that there really isn't any paranormal things that happen here, but this is an area that a lot of people come to visit. So as we head out of here, we approach another cross section where it breaks off to another little corridor to my right. Can't go down that way. Or you can go straight. So here we are, another shaft as we go further down into the mine, which is about, I believe it's 1.25 miles.
Yeah.
The whole,
And
if
this
you
is
walk it.
where I usually am stationed with a lot of things that happen.
Well, what I like about this area, there's two things I like about this area here. The one is there's a demonstration of the dynamite that Jay already captured on camera. We don't have to do that.
Yeah, he likes the candle
He already
thing.
captured it.
I'm going to do the candle thing.
Okay. So there's a display in front of us that simulates the dynamite explosions. This area right here where the mannequins are, well, Jay's going to show a video where it lights up and you just hear loud boom, boom, boom. It simulates what dynamite would have sounded like in these empty tunnels. When you're investigating, that residual boom will happen again and again, especially if you're here for a long period of time. You'll hear it more and more, and you feel the shake as well. You feel the tremor, which is really, really odd from a residual standpoint. And again, you see that Chris is holding the candle behind me, which is what they would have had initially to use to see. They had, what, 3 of those per shift?
4.
4.
3 to work with and the 4th one
8
to get
hours
out.
of just
So imagine,
candlelight.
yeah, look at this. Just trying to work and do rocks and stuff here.
So yeah, really difficult conditions, again, that these people were working under. And we're on one of 26 levels. So this is the only remaining level that wasn't flooded out. 300 people have passed away underneath us. Some of them I'm sure they found, others I'm sure they didn't. I'm certain that not everybody came out of here. So.
And we get a lot of residual of the dynamite blasts going off through the whole mine. Okay.
So we're heading down another shaft here, and is this the area that I was talking about? I'm coming up on it. Yeah, this is the area I was talking about. I call this area kind of the cross section. And again, you'll be able to see, I'll stand here, so you'll be able to pan this whole entire area. We're literally in between 4 different corridors, because even though you can see those mannequins behind me and it looks like there's nothing there, that goes back a little ways. And you could go back there. They don't let people go back there, but we can walk back there and investigate. So there's quite a bit of area back there. And then if you go to my right, that's a whole nother shaft. In front of me is another shaft. And to my left where Chris is where we came from. So this cross section, we usually get voices and stuff.
Well, it's not just voices. There's something that hides back there that tends to be angry. And I've had several people pushed in this area. And the cart that's right behind you, we can actually hear the wheels of it turning like a cart is moving, and they're working in here. So whatever's behind there goes back there to hide, to stay away from us.
Okay. So again, you can't see it now, but there is a mist that forms here in the mine, which will probably happen as it gets later.
Yeah.
And the air gets a little heavier, and that makes things a little foggy here. And you'll see things in the fog too from time to time. So here we are again, another shaft that goes where I'm literally walking down, which is kind of why I look the way I look. But if you pan this area, you could see everything that's on either side of me. And there's a lot of, again, props. There's a lot of equipment that the miners did use here around us.
For some reason, this area
does
get a lot of activity.
When you talk about explosives and you ask about them and you reference kind of props, you get reactions.
I wonder if it has to do with here, the working space where they actually drilled up into and worked.
I don't know. But yeah, this is another area where they will interact with you. So we go further down. Now we're really going down further into the mine. And again, another area when we first came here, probably 6 years ago, this was the area we started. And what was strange was that we had heard claims about boots. could hear the footsteps. We had heard claims about hearing conversations, whistling. All of that happened here along this corridor within an hour of us being here. We would hear coming, we were down at the end where we're heading, but we would hear the footsteps coming from that direction.
So uniquely enough, you're saying that, right? So we were doing an event with people here, and we had taken a break. And I ran a cord all the way up through the mine, 100-foot cord. Never have had any issues before. Came back after the break, my cord was cut.
Yes.
And there was nobody in the mine. And it was clear as day cut. I even took it into Bill, who's mined here for years and knows all about it. And he was just like, something cut. So we don't know if one of the phantom workers cut. So I don't run cords in here anymore.
So again, we're wearing sneakers right now, but you can hear the boots. If I was walking a little heavier, this is kind of what you hear coming down there from time to time. And we started at the end and we worked our way to the beginning to where we started. But this is where we started. And again, I'm going to show you the view. This is another intersection of the lake is to my right that you could see.
Natural spring.
The exit to the mine is up ahead. To my left is another cutout where actually the movie Zoolander was filmed there. But we were so surprised by the as much interaction or activity, I should say, that we had just in this area when we started. We were here for about 30, 40 minutes and we heard them talking to each other. And at first we thought, where's that echo coming from? And then we were all decided to be quiet. And again, if you pan around, you hear my voice echoing. You would hear that, them talking back and forth, back and forth. And then we heard the footsteps and then the whistles. The whistles always seem to come if you're in that area over there, and you'll hear them coming from back there.
This is where they like to rush you. If you're in the dark by yourself, they like to come out. But this is where you saw...
Oh, I saw the...
right here.
Yeah, I'm going to back up.
Right here.
If
Very
you
critical.
go, if you look towards, if you pan towards the right of me where the exit sign is that way, if you pan that way, you'll see the exit. But again, we're here, it's pitch black. When you turn off these lights, you can't see your hand in front of your face. So one of our team members was over here to the right with a piece of equipment in front of her, and she felt like she kept saying, somebody's behind me, somebody's behind me, I know it, they're behind me. And they wanted to just run. And I said, stay for a minute, don't run, you can't see, it's pitch black. You know, I turned my flashlight on to focus on her and lead her away from that area. And as I did, I could see behind her the silhouette of a person who was bigger than me, wider than me, and I saw the full outline of the miner's helmet. He was right behind her. One of the coolest things I've seen here, for sure.
And we get a lot of talking and interaction here, and we get names and nicknames and on EVPs, which is amazing. I'm fascinated with the fact that when they brought in these stones, and these actually glow just like what John showed you in the rainbow room, and they were setting these up, that whole thing back there collapsed, and it turned out to be another tunnel.
This is in front of us. You could see it.
Huh?
It's in front of the camera. They have the 360. So
that all fell apart, and then up here, there's actually an opening that goes all the way up to, that is another tunnel that they actually have braces and stuff.
Yeah, so if you look in that area, you can see where they cut away, and then it cuts away really high up into the ceiling there. And then behind me, right there, you see that gate. That leads down to the other areas of the mine where aren't accessible, that are flooded out. And we've captured voices. We actually heard someone asking for help coming from an EVP coming from down there.
I'm going to close the doors and shut the lights off as we go.
The other area. Sorry, Jay. When you work with amateurs, this is what you get. I won't be mad if you cut her out.
He's lucky he still has his pen.
I won't be mad if you cut her out, Jay. We can replace her with a younger you know, actress or something if you want for the
You
next.
do know you sleep with pillows right next to me, right? They could be put over your head. I'm going to shut lights off as we go. If you want me to stay here and wait, go ahead. Do your thing.
No, we're fine.
Tell me when you're done.
Just come on. Shut it out and follow me.
Even now, though, you can see that it's nowhere near as damp as what it used to be. I mean, I saw a little bit more water in here than I did yesterday. You?
Well, if they'd have come next week, they really would have gotten it because it's going to rain. I think
So
on
they would have
Monday.
had gotten that trickle all
Yeah, it's
right
going to
in
rain on
between.
Monday and Thursday, so this mine would have been packed with water.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, that area there is usually muddied all the way out over there.
Yeah.
Can't even get in that room usually.
I got the other flashlight if you want to go in the office. I
That
mean,
guy's
the
got a
lamp
really
room.
bad mustache.
He's got
There's
a
me right
cigarette in
there,
his
by the way,
mouth.
Jay. That
Could
guy?
you have cigarettes when you had
You
Dynamite?
put longer hair on that guy? That's me.
But can you have cigarettes when you're in the? He's got a cigarette out of his mouth.
You know he's not real. Right?
I know that, but I'm just saying. We shall overcome.
I guarantee you there's voices and stuff in that because no one's ever talked to them in there.
How again?
And in
how
6
many-
years, we never talked to them.
So he said that was built in 1950 when they moved it from here
Right.
up to there.
Okay, all right, that makes sense.
So 50, 60, 70, 80s, that's almost 40 years. You know, because they closed what? When did they close? 86?
I feel like the bottom of my shoes are gnarly.
They actually, all that stuff is off. Even on my feet.
I do,
But
I feel like
you'll
they're-
still have that smell.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna burn these shoes.
I'll clean them all. No, I'll disinfect them all.